Welcome to Just Some Guy Trading with 2021 World Champion Trader Kevin McCormick. Welcome back to Just Some Guy Trading. I'm Kevin McCormick, and this is my weekly outlook for August 13th. We're going to start off with a stock market update because we have some very important technical levels and trends coming up this week for the market. So we're going to take a deep dive at the S&P 500. Then I'm going to jump into gold and silver, and we're going to finish up with natural gas. I also just released a special report on natural gas yesterday. I recommend going to go check that out if natural gas is something you are interested in. As always, the video will go in this order, so hop around to the areas that interest you the most. This video is for educational purposes only. Okay, this week I'm going to stay focused on the S&P 500 chart and hit on some key technical levels. In addition to the technical levels we're about to discuss, we do have seasonal patterns and cycles hitting this week that say that if the market was going to have a bounce, this is the week that we'd expect it. So we have the seasonal and cycles lining up along with the technicals I'm going to hit on right now. So looking at the daily chart of the S&P 500 futures, you can see we're on an 8 buy setup for sequential and combo right now. I fully expect us to hit the 9 buy signal on Monday unless we have a big rally that would take us up above the closing areas of 45.20 on Monday. That's the only thing that would stop this 9 buy setup that we have coming up. And we're hitting on those initial first key technical levels on this pullback that everyone that's been watching has known that I've been calling for this pullback since June. We hit the day on the nose. I just rather say I'm lucky than good on that one. But I fully expect us on Monday to move lower into this area of key resistance. The part that's interesting about this is going to set us up perfectly for a turnaround Tuesday trade as well if we do have the pullback I'm expecting on Monday. I'm still thinking we have some more room to go lower, but if we're going to bounce, we're in key technical areas for that. We also have, if we take a look here at the 60-minute chart, we've been in a great channel. You can see that the market has been trading the S&P 500 futures perfectly inside this channel that started back on August 4th. You can also see that the combo and sequential 9s have been working beautifully during this cycle. We've got the 9 sell, market pullback, 9 buy, market moved higher, and then pullback, 9 sell again, and we continue lower, and then right on cue, as I was kind of discussing, I expect Sunday when the market opens that we're probably going to get the 9 sell signal right around in the area of this trend line. But I think we could move all the way back up into this area on Monday and then have a sell-off again. Or we just move around and set up for that move lower on Monday and then have the turnaround Tuesday buy set up. I'm not going to be looking to take that turnaround Tuesday trade myself, but this is the range that we should be expecting ourselves to trade in. It's been working great so far, and coming into this week is going to be key because if we don't bounce this week and at least consolidate and not move higher, then we should fully expect that this could be the continuation of a trend down into a nice DeMARK 13 buy setup, taking us into probably mid-September. So that's why I'm saying this week will be key. If we break out of this channel lower or higher, then that will tell us where the next move is for the market. Now, let's jump into gold and silver. All right, we're going to stay right here with the DeMARK indicators on gold and silver to start off the technical piece. And I'm going to finish up with a little fundamental conversation here as well. But you can see the DeMARK indicators, the 9s have been working pretty well on gold as well here. Going back to July, even June, this buy did come up a little, and then we moved out a little lower. This 9 was great. Sell 9, and then on Friday we hit a buy 9 right in the area of support. So this gives me an indication that we could have a bounce in gold this week And if we take a look at silver, very similar setup here as well. We haven't had the well-defined nines that we saw with the gold, but we had this pullback, a 13 buy sequential happened here, followed by the 9 buy setup that we have just like gold that are lining up perfectly. Not a lot of technicals here that are giving me a lot of buy signals in gold, but there's a very important fundamental that's been going along with in the gold market as well. Now let's jump into that for a quick look on the fundamentals. As all of you know, I like to look at the fundamentals in addition to the technicals, and gold has had very strong buying by the central banks around the world in the first half of this year. And I think with this pullback we just experienced and the possibility that the dollar might be moving lower as well, that central bank buying will continue into the second half. The interesting thing about this is it is the highest first half on record, but we actually had very strong selling pulling it down as well. As you can see here on the next chart, Turkey, because of a financial issue with their currency in the second quarter, was a heavy seller of gold in the second half, as you can see by this bar. But China's been a big buyer all the way through, and Poland actually bought a lot in the second half as well. And you can see here that Russia sold a little. You know, with the war going on, one of the ways for them to prop up their currency is by selling gold. So this selling should be over now from Turkey, taking away what was resistance in the market from a fundamental perspective. So this tied together with the DeMARK buy signals that we just received in the last week, I think we could be looking for a bounce higher in gold and actually could be starting a new longer term trend in gold. But I'm waiting for a few more technicals before I'm ready to declare that. So let's finish up with the chart of natural gas. Before we jump into the charts of natural gas, one of the reasons why I'm turning very bullish on natural gas is because of the premium spreads in the future market. This is a slide from the natural gas special report I just released on Friday. I'll include a link above and in the description of this video so everybody can go out and view that. But as you can see here, natural gas is at $4 in the January contract right now. And the price is moving higher. We had some possible strikes in Australia that did move natural gas higher this week. But when you compare this to crude oil, which is actually in a premium market right now, which is unusual, the front month is selling for more than the back month, which to me says that we could be reaching a top in crude oil right now. But for natural gas, the price just a few months out is much higher than we're trading right now, which is why I think some of the technicals are lining up for us to move higher in the future. But if you go and check out my special report on natural gas, I think it's also a great opportunity for you to buy natural gas producers right now, meaning their stock. But check out that report for more details on that. Now let's jump into the charts. All right, let's start off with a look at the Commitments to Trader report for natural gas. As all of you know, I've been highlighting for almost the entire year that we really can't get a bottom in natural gas until the commercials stop selling their production. And we needed that to have a supply-demand imbalance for that to occur. And I think this last week, with the threat of the strike in Australia and the recent heat wave we've had around the country, has increased the demand for natural gas, and the supply or the amount in storage is not where it could be. And so we saw that final spike here this week where we got above the commercials being short. It's happened a few other times, but I don't think this is going to be a false alarm. Why do I feel that way? Let's take a look at the Williams Progo. You can see here that the professionals have been selling heavily since basically mid-2022. And that's indicated by the green line here. And just recently, all that selling has been drying up, and then they've been working their way to get positive. They've been floating along in here, and then this last week, we finally had a breakout on a weekly perspective on natural gas in Progo. If you look back in history, when we've had these breakouts, they've been a beautiful opportunity to get long natural gas, as you see here. And then we got the sell signals that crossed back over here. And then in mid-2022, when we had this huge ramp caused by the war in Ukraine, you can see the professionals got very heavy long, and then they started covering those positions. If we jump into the daily chart here quickly, you can see we've had a similar experience as well, but we get a little bit more of a indicator here on the daily perspective. You can see when we had some of these moves higher here recently, we've had that crossover, but we've come back down. And just like on that weekly chart, we fought higher this week. We've had a pullback, but we haven't crossed back over the public line yet. And I think we are developing the bottom in natural gas and moving higher, especially when we see that in January, we're already selling at $4, which is a huge discount to today's prices. So if we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see that natural gas, as we've been mentioning for a long time, just an ugly chart that's been making a huge base. But that base is probably in place right now. And on Friday, we got that Williams %R buy signal right here. So right here, right now, I think we can be buyers, especially since we're touching that 18-day moving average in natural gas. But that's just short-term trading there. I do recommend checking out the natural gas special report for the long-term opportunity to make some money in this move of higher prices in natural gas. That is already in the cards if you look at the January pricing. Thanks for watching Just Some Guy Trading. I'm Kevin McCormick, and I hope you have a great week of trading. Always subscribe and like to my videos so you know when all of my content and special reports come out, and I'll see you next week.